the mount of Pat Cosgrove. 2 is Barolo, Johnny Murtagh. 3 Distinction, Michael Keiren, second in last year's Gold Cup at York, of course. Number 4 is High Action, Richard Hughes. 5 Media Puzzle, Pat Smullen. 6 is Reefscape, Christophe Soumillon. 7 Sergeant Cecil, Alan Munro. 8 Tungsten Strike, Ryan Moore. 9 is Winged d'Argent, Job Fanning. 10 is Yeats, one-time favourite for the Derby, Keiren Fallon. 11 Motafared is the mount of Neil Callan, and 12 Guadalajara, Frankie Dettori.
11-4 just appeared down here on the bottom of the rails, down here with Chris Cobb on the rail. 11-4 only in a place though. 5-2 is the price. Reefscape is 7-2 second favourite. I've seen 4 that and 130, so that would be a fair show at the moment. Sergeant Cecil is 5-1 with the Yeats at 7-1. Tungsten Strike is 8-1. This Guadalajara is 16s from 20s. They've nibbled at that one. Media Puzzle, former winner of the Melbourne Cup, is 20-1, with Barolo being nibbled at that from 40s into 33s. But this Guadalajara, there's a bit more than the nibbling going on at 20s. It's now being, I would say, backed with a bit more abundance. It's 14-1 from 20-1, and certainly an each-way springer here.
Set, and they're racing. Reefscape just drops back towards the rear in the early stages. Guadalajara over on the far side away quickly. Barolo is up there as well. Out wider then in the early stages, Winged d'Argent, and right there too is Motafared, the 200-1 outsider. Now Keiren Fallon on Yeats is up searching for a handy position. The question is, will he go on? In fact, I think his mind is made up now, as High Action with the striped sleeves and the check cap now crosses over in front of Yeats and goes on. From in second place, Winged d'Argent. Yeats is tucked away third, followed by Tungsten Strike the outside, and further back then is Distinction, right in the centre of the pack. Back on the inside of runners is Guadalajara, followed next by Sergeant Cecil, is reefing and pulling early, not settling for Alan Munro. He's used to much bigger fields, although he has raced in a few single-figure number races. Further back in the field then is Keiren, and still Sergeant Cecil taking a very strong hold in last position. Racing up the home straight the first time, and it's High Action out in front here by 3 lengths or so. To in second place, Winged d'Argent. Then in third is Tungsten Strike, who's on the outside of Yeats. They're 2 or 3 lengths in advance of Distinction. 1 length further back is Barolo. 1 length further back in the field then is Reefscape, followed by Guadalajara. Media Puzzle is back 4th last, followed then by Sergeant Cecil and Keiren, and still at the tail of the field is Motafared as they swing right-handed now out of the home straight, and they've got just over a mile and a half to travel in the Ascot Gold Cup. And out in front here, setting a good pace too, is High Action going on. This will really suit the stayers, I'd say, trying to really tuck them along at a good pace by 6 or 7 lengths here. 2 up in second place at this stage is Winged d'Argent. Then back in third is Yeats, just being passed there by Tungsten Strike on the outside. They're followed further back by Distinction, and Barolo is tucked away on the inside, the yellow sleeves and cap. They're followed by Media Puzzle, and Reefscape is there as well. Well back is the dark blue jacket, or the royal blue jacket of Guadalajara, being tracked by Sergeant Cecil, who's held up at the rear of the field now. Motafared is well back, and so too is Keiren. Running downhill now past the mile, and the leader here is High Action, who's come back to the field now, leads by only a length to Tungsten Strike, who's up on the outside of Winged d'Argent. Behind them is Yeats, who's had a perfect run. A length away then Distinction. Mick Keiren is just keeping an eye on Fallon ahead of him. Half a length further back in the field then follows Barolo, then Reefscape from Guadalajara as they go into Swinley Bottom. They're followed by Media Puzzle, the 2002 Melbourne Cup winner. Well back too is Keiren with Sergeant Cecil, who's third last. Last at this stage is Motafared, the rank outsider. Racing out of Swinley Bottom now, the stiff uphill climb towards home, less than 6 furlongs to travel. High Action out in front here from Tungsten Strike, who's being ridden along to try and apply pressure, followed by Winged d'Argent. The tempo's really increased. Yeats is coming into it on the outside. Distinction is tracking him out wider, followed then by Barolo. Guadalajara coming into it as well. well. Well back then is Reefscape. Sergeant Cecil behind horses as they start to group up now and run to the home turn in the Gold Cup. High Action, the leader from Tungsten Strike and Wing d'Argent. Yeatson around the outside, Guadalajara. A length and a half to distinction, called on for an effort. Sergeant Cecil needs a run as they swing for home now, and Media Puzzle is well back. High Action led them into the straight. Here's Yeats on the outside, ranges up now and grabs the lead quickly, followed then by Tungsten Strike. Distinction is under pressure. Out wider then as Reefscape. Sergeant Cecil weaving his way through, but Yeats has gone for home now. Will he stay? Just over a furlong and a half to go. Distinction battling on, trying hard to make some inroads into this lead as they come inside the final furlong. It's Yeats, 3 or 4 in front. Reefscape, Distinction, they're not going to catch him. Yeats has outclassed them. Yeats wins the Ascot Gold Cup by 4 or 5 lengths. Tight second, photo between Reefscape and Distinction. A gap then to High Action in 4th, followed then by Sergeant Cecil, Guadalajara, then Barolo, Tungsten Strike. A long gap then to Wing d'Argent, then Keiren, and unfortunately Media Puzzle has broken down right on the line. He's been pulled up very quickly by Pat Smullen and has been unsaddled, and walking over the line is Motafarid. Yeats, the classy horse, he was one-time favourite for the Derby, remember that. He wins it by 5 lengths. Reefscape gets second. In 3rd then is Distinction. 4th is High Action. In 5th then is Sergeant Cecil. In 6th is Guadalajara. In 7th, Barolo. 8th is Tungsten Strike, as you can see there. And still waiting for the others.
Returned at 7-1 with Reefscape second at 100 to 30. Distinction was the 5-2 favourite.